Okay, one thing I noticed about the play is I thought that it was strangely written. A lot of the time I had to stop and reread the play. For example, when Elliot's mom or dad were speaking, I just had to go back and refer to who was really speaking. And also when the dad or the grandfather, when they were writing letters, they would often be in the same letter. So just going back and seeing who was writing the letter and who it was intended to and who was actually speaking in it. Uh, Two values I had were stoicism and family. So for family, I just thought it was very interesting how Elliot became a Marine and his father was also a Marine, and the tendency for that to happen. And for stoicism, I thought everything was very matter of fact. When Elliot talks about his injury, he never talks about the mental implications that it had on himself, but he talks about smoking a cig and put on a tourniquet, and just pushing away from being talking about the mental side of things. One thing I thought was interesting was the women in Vietnam, like Jenny. I didn't expect that, and so I looked it up and saw that over 11,000 women actually served in Vietnam. So that was just a higher number than I expected, and really important to see, and something that I think needs to be more noticed. Another thing so the depiction of the American soldier, I thought it was reaffirmed by the brotherhood that you saw in the military, and the pride that people take in their children joining the military. Um, and I thought it was challenged also by Ellie's parents smoking weed in the hospital. I thought it was kind of a weird thing, just seeing drugs in the military being together. I don't know. You hear about so much drug testing, even these days. Maybe not as much back then, but yeah, I thought that was an interesting part. The fuge, when I looked it up, I saw it was actually a music term. Um, so in this case, for the fuge, the subject was the military, and the story was woven in by the accounts of other people. And I think that the intention of this was to show that even though years pass, the people who defend and serve our country are still very similar in the type of people that they are. So, my two questions for the playwright: um, why did the playwright just center on Elliot? Why didn't the playwright just center on Elliot, and why did he create a fugue? Um, so reasons behind that, and do you think that the play benefited from being a fugue, and why or why not? So, and the implications that had on the play as a whole. So thanks.